Let's
No
get
shade.
straight into the order of the day. What did you think about Black is King?
Beyonce's king. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I like it was so colorful, so beautiful, so creative. Like I never knew that we could actually create something that actually appreciates Africa united, but also at the same time Africa as a diverse continent,
Okay.
all in one. You know, appreciating the different cultures within, because you know, for some weird reason, Americans always think of, you know, Africa as one country. You know, we basically are the same people, etc., etc. People need to understand one thing about Beyonce is that you can't expect her to fix the injustices or issues in society.
Yeah.
But she does her best to bring about change.
It was beautiful to see. My favorite thing about it really was seeing people that I know, seeing South Africans that I know, seeing Africans that I know next to Beyonce. That was my
Dude.
favorite thing. I was just like, what?
Also, please bear in mind, for instance, you know, with the South Africans, it's people that we as South Africans overlooked, like never took seriously.
I don't want to say that it's not people that I personally didn't take seriously, because Busiswa for me has always been one of the best performers in
But
this
does
country.
the rest of South Africa think that? I mean, if does the treatment she received in South
True,
Africa reflect
true,
that?
true.
No. Does
And-
Moonchild, who actually changed South Africa's music genre game completely, and she's so
it wasn't necessarily okay. So it was December 1st when we did Global Citizen. And just before Global Citizen, I've gone to some private party where I performed, and her whole team was there, the dancers, the management, everyone. And I got to meet her eyes, which is Ukwesi, who's now become a good friend. And he was doing research and wanted to just see the scene and type of people and all that jazz. So I didn't necessarily have details, but I knew he was working for. So I was very open with regards to going to live shows around December that whole month, even after Global Citizen. So from then onwards, he didn't tell me they were going to use Wokia Para, which was the first initial thing. I'm like, okay, so she loves me. And then from there, I remember Kwesi saying just like send music, send music. I didn't care. I didn't know what the project was gonna be. I just kept sending because I'm always making music. So I just kept sending stuff. And then I remember when I was in LA while recording with Diplo, her team called him to, and because he walks into the studio, he's like, did you tell Beyonce's team that you're here? And I was like, no, I didn't tell them, but I've been sending music. So we made a song. We made 6 songs with Diplo. I didn't necessarily know they were going there now. So I didn't know what's going on. All I knew was I was giving my everything because I knew it was for. And then at Coachella last year, Kwesi finally said it's going to be for an African project, but still no detail. So now I'm just all I knew was already enough to know and give it my all. Whatever the project was going to be for, as long as it was going to be for Beyonce, I was yes. So by the time the non-disclosures and I also like my involvement was so much with regards to sending the music and also getting music that they need like ad libs for to change the tone of a song or whatever, or like they want hooks or stuff like that. I was involved in that process, so I didn't even know which song I was gonna make it into. Because my power, I think, is literally the last song I did ad libs for, because I remember it was an emergency thing. They were like, okay, cool. And like I'm flying out of London, I think that next day or day after that. So I was like, as soon as I land, I'm gonna go straight to studio. I won't even go home. They're like, go. So when I did that, then I found out Musisa was in the song too, and I didn't tell her. We didn't tell each other. So for her, it was a surprise hearing the song when everyone heard the song, that I was in it, and we'd been hanging. We're just not talking, but everyone has been sending stuff like. Because when I hear about her, she says she sent about 8 verses, and you know, so it was like, and it's so crazy how we were both chosen because as like actual friends and knowing that she's like our ultimate actually as well as individual. And then Beyonce decides to choose the friend. It was so crazy, almost like you paid for it, but Beyonce chooses you, you don't choose Beyonce, you know. So it was lit, man. It was crazy. So from not knowing and giving it your all to the ultimate part, which was the song and the song making it. It was a crazy process also because like because you have to send the stuff right, and then you get approved. It's approved, it's not, or you don't know, but it's just more stuff to do, and then I remember I wouldn't be able to, even if I leave studio at 3 a.m., I wouldn't be able to pose with the class, even if it's just one drink, because I don't want to look happy and I haven't delivered. But that time, studio is closed now. I've been there. I've given it my all for the night. I just wanted, so it was crazy because everything was watched. You're just like, oh my God, all the stages are watched. So I need to just focus on the grind. And it's very easy for me to not talk. So just shut the hell up and just gave it my everything. And here we are.
What exactly was that moment like when you saw your name in the credits
Of the movie.
of the movie? Yeah, of the movie.
Oh my God, it was like, ah! It was so crazy. It's in the same freaking, uh, it's in the same freaking as my ultimate. I mean, Cardi B doesn't have the Beyonce feature, and Cardi B is here with the Grammys. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a lot. And anybody, even the people we look up to or love, out, even out there that are big there, who don't have access to Beyonce, and you out here in South Africa, and it's just like, girl, it's scary. So it's something that's freaking magnificent because I've never met anyone who loved Michael Jackson and said they've met Michael Jackson, or let alone work with Michael Jackson. So look, it's it's life made. It's such a big deal that keeping quiet about it was so easy, even without the not disclosure, because there's a contentment that came with the knowledge that she knows you by name and product, and actually loves and respects your art and craft, which was just amazing. Because I know, especially with regards to a lot of people, they'll think it's just bumps and misconstrue the whole message of like ownership and having a voice. But for someone outside, it doesn't matter how you choose to paint me at home, the world sees me. And it's the sad thing where it's like we don't know our own power and our own originality or appreciate it until the world takes it and we claim it back. So, I mean, even people like Black Coffee, I look up to because I know his mission when South Africa didn't care about him and he had to break out overseas before now they're claiming him. And one of the most amazing statements I heard was, I'm not representing South Africa, I'm from South Africa. It just came with that thing on Sam. Anindazi anini-appreciate ndiyabonwa ngaphandle and nam ndiyazibona and nizobona phambili mara andimanga ndawo. Those who get it will get it, those who don't won't, but eventually it shall come together and make sense.
But where do you think that stems from? I think like consumers, us as South Africans ourselves, it's not even just you, it's our entertainment industry as a whole. Even at a government level, I feel like they don't appreciate you guys until you come back with an international award or international recognition.
Oh yes,
that stems from.
I have no idea. I've literally got no idea, but I'll say that thing like, something as simple as it's just knowing your originality and appreciating it instead of hating on someone who sees it just because they're not from your space. It's that thing of like a prophet is never appreciating their own town. I think that's something that everyone literally has a story about, right? In their success, that's part of the story. But in different, I mean, same story, different time, different mission, different, but ultimately the same story. So I don't know because I mean, we used to polish our stoops with uh, tribal print, and it takes so long wearing it on the red carpet. Now it's an actual trend, but we've always had it. Little things like that. So it's, I guess it's just one of those things in life, and I guess it also keeps you going because it's like, there's still a lot to be done outside of me just doing it. It's just one day, the work will never stop, however long it takes for whoever to finally resonates. But it, them not resonating doesn't stop anything, but it is everything when it does. Like when I used to do just gigs overseas a lot, and I had to literally sit down and write down my next plan to make sure that I don't blow up out there without my home supporting or knowing me. And this is through music only. So my biggest thing was, okay, cool. In South Africa, I mostly followed by alternative black artists and majority white. So you're doing these festivals, and I wasn't satisfied. I saw, and I'm like, US man, I sing in Xhosa, and the world is eating this thing up, and here, so I wasn't satisfied. Instead of being bitter and not doing anything about it, I wrote down a strategy, and the universe brought things together, and then it happened that way. So now it's even more of a bigger impact. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not gonna fail just because my parents don't do this, but should they
Right.
do this, it's just even more juice. So that part. So now I know I'm not alone. Now I am with my country, and we are doing this world thing on our own. You won't read about me and say, who the hell is that? Because it's either I break here or I break there, and not everything. So yeah, my biggest mission is I'm going to the world with home, as home, from home, as close as I am. So they misunderstand me, those ones, and they hate that I am proud about the part they probably the least the most uncomfortable about, because for people to see what for people to see negativity, they see a part of themselves they don't like, and they have to highlight and impose it on people. So I mean, I'm very comfortable, I'm very happy, and you're just gonna have to deal with me, because the thing about it that you can't deny me is that I work my ass off, literally, and I don't like clothes, and so I'm not gonna package it for your comfort. When it's not even a marketing strategy, my whole image is just me and how I am, and therefore it's not going to be changed by people's discomfort. You're just going to adjust because somehow when it's in English and it's overseas, we hear watching all these things, and then the moment it's close to home, because you feel like because it's so close to home, you feel like you have the right, or you une rights zokuthi ngixelele uba ndenze ntoni just because I speak in your language. No,
Mm.
respect me the same way you respect the Black American with the twang out there who's got so I don't have time for that hypocrisy. I don't have time. It's just like it's not actually personal. You don't get it because you don't get it.
And speaking of having an international audience that watches and loves your stuff, let's move on to like your latest single. I watched the music
Yes.
video, but then one thing that stuck out for me was that all your international fans were asking, what does it mean? So can you just take us through what Bashiri means and the lyrics of the
Bashiri is
song?
literally yeah. So I mean, what do you think of first when I say Bashiri?
Bushiri.
And it's a misspelling, and it's not. So yes, I played on what I know you're gonna think of immediately, and the storyline is based on fake prophecy. And my biggest message in the song is literally about. So okay, the story is I'm in church and I'm testifying that my tithing has brought my husband back. So keep on tithing, and I'm obviously being sarcastic because there's things that you don't need to give to God that you can control physically, like go for relationship therapist, because you can't wait for blessings for someone to change in Jesus' name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mocking any religion, but you assuming that I'm talking about Bushir is you being able to go to the story and just get it, Jay. So, and Bashiri actually is an Arabic name for a boy, which means a bringer of good tidings.
Okay.
So it's not a misspelling on the part I played on that. I knew exactly where you think. But I always clear it so that there's no goons here coming to kill me in Jesus' name. No church has been, no religion is being offended. It's just, I want you to stop and think for a moment of the power that you possess as well, and the physical things that you can do to change things instead of just basing your faith on everything and letting go of your life, you know, to something that just needs you to get up and do something about it. I get it. God helps those to help themselves.
Right.
So we are of his image, and therefore we are powerful enough to be able to change our narratives by starting to believe in us first. But we choose to shift responsibility on something that so that when it doesn't work out, it's you, not me, instead of believing in ourselves so that we fault ourselves and we get up and we fix it.
And then one thing that you are most known for is your versatility. So we
Uh-huh.
never know what to expect. Every song sounds different. It's never gonna be like
That's so good to
it's
hear.
never gonna
Thank
be like,
you.
oh, we know what to expect from Moonchild. So what are your
Yeah.
processes like? More specifically with the producers of the song, how do you choose what
Yeah.
sound works for your lyrics?
I think it's my attention span because I can literally write to any genre. I come from a background of writing for reggae bands. I come from poetry, so I'm a storyteller. I've got a hip hop background. I did jazz for a little bit where I used to open for your Mambo Simplongo, Matala Kunenes. And so I've got such an eclectic musical background. And when I started doing my sound, which was in 2007, which was just basically future ghetto funk, and I think most of it is literally expressing on how I express things. But I've never wanted to be in a box. I've never wanted to be in a box in general, and I think I get bored so quick. I don't see myself repeating the same thing. So it's just a part of who I am because I just write. I literally everyone's always shocked. Anati first time in studio with me is like, what the hell just happened? Ricky in studio with me, what the hell? So first of all, people get shocked by the fact that it is my voice. It's not auto tune. Like it's like my tone. It's how I speak. So it's my voice. That's the first surprise. The second is how quick I write. I write fast. I think of sometimes I can come into studio. If there's something happening, okay, what's the story? Then if I hear the story, because I have an answer for everything. Therefore, I guess it's also a good thing because I come up with stories on the spot. Give me a name, give me a word. I'll come up with a story and a scenario because I can always see pictures. It's easy for me to I imagine things and then I put them to words. Like
Mm-hmm.
for instance, standard that it's like I imagine. Okay, when I said Hallelujah, Amen, I'm thinking of my international audience. So it's like there's that one part everyone can sing along to. So I'm also always conscious when I do right of those little things because I never just limit it to South Africa. I always think sing along outside in the world. If you don't understand the rest of the Konglish, there's parts that just bring us together, even if you're hearing the song for the first time. So I'm always conscious of seeing myself on stage. How will I perform it? What's the call and response in the audience? How do I include them? Um, so my process is I don't have a deep process. I really don't have a deep process. I'm going to studio with my cousin tonight, and we're gonna choose a beat and write something. I literally just write very quickly on the spot, and it's so crazy. Because actually, it's so funny because I saw I didn't know she was gonna say anything about it, but in my because I'm already working on my album, right? And I feel like I'm just going. You're probably gonna ask this question number 10. This thing, I'm working on my album, right? And I'm super excited about it because it's the new signing with Transgressive Records, and which is the label that's based in London, right? And then now there, I'm literally showing like my musical bipolarity, where I'm just like, okay, so I'm flexing, especially for specific territories. I know how I'm flexing for the US, how I'm flexing for with SA for the US, with SA for the UK, because in the UK now I'm even hosting. I've gotten two shows that I've hosted so far with BBC Radio One, which is the biggest one in the UK.
Yep.
That means my music is being eaten up there. I've got a song that's on airwaves, on TV, everywhere because I've collaborated with the Grimes artist there as well called Get. We even have our own filter on Instagram, by the way. I'll send it to you. But it's like there's so many different territories. Okay. So there's this song. So I sent the song to Simpi, and she's just like, "Oh my God, baby, I love it." So she tweeted actually this weekend. I don't know what day. It's Friday. It's lockdown. It's sometime this week. She tweeted, and she's just like, "You guys have no idea how much Moonchild can sing." And I'm doing a song with her. I'm so excited to
Oh,
let you know.
that.
Whenever it comes out, just know like you don't know this girl's voice. And it's just that thing, like I'm not even a belter. My voice is like this, so it's like right. I've got a tone, so and I can sing. So, but I don't do idle singing, because that doesn't make money in South Africa. I do swag, you know. But I'm so excited. I think I'm running now because I'm excited. Let me listen.
Look, I saw the tweet and I'm just as excited because Moonchild with Cynthia, it's a yes.
Girl, right? She's
It's a
so
yes.
swag. She's so cool. She's so cool. She's awesome, man. From where to go, she called to support and said to me, please adopt being a bitch because if you don't and you're nice, they'll always take advantage of you and never respect you. So don't show your personality, show the. And I'm like, what, Dijana? It's I would suffer inside. So the same thing for me. I can't. It's something happened. So okay, let me let you talk
Okay.
for real this time.
Like we've spoken about
Mm-hmm.
a lot, but there's also been like negative, well, I don't want to say negative press, but there's been one media outlet that has done you dirty and you call them out for it.
Where?
When your song was
Oh,
not,
that situation.
yes,
The song I didn't swear in.
but then they
It
didn't want,
plays now, by the way.
oh, okay.
We won. It plays. We won. Shout out to. It did what it was meant to do. It wasn't about the song playing on radio for me to get royalties or whatever. The song I wanted it to reach the people it needed to reach in a time where everyone is depressed and going through things. I just needed a song where it reminds us that we are beautiful and we're fine and we're powerful and we're perfect. I just needed that. So my biggest thing was the fact that you're blocking this bullshit from people hearing something of positivity. And and I'm so appreciative of the fact that it's playing now because I wasn't swearing in that damn song. I didn't swear. How are you censoring guys? Amatanga, Imbundu. Go to a dictionary. That's not slang in Xhosa. It's the direct. So are you saying that language, which becomes a different, it's different argument about languages, and my battle is self-empowerment, body positivity, and all that jazz. That's my mission. So just focusing on that, that's what I was fighting. And the response I got from people in the videos, that's how I could actually sacrifice my Instagram because I knew I wasn't alone, and I knew I had the people that it spoke to speak back to me, and
Mm.
so that was crazy. And there's still a phase two that's coming up that. So I did a remix where we created an email where people sent the videos. So we're going to be choosing those now. We're doing the indemnity forms and whatever from the videos we're choosing. So I'm going to have an Aski's remix just for that video to
Oh my
end
God. How do
quiet.
how do you remain resilient, and consistent in making music despite society and the industry sometimes rejecting your agency to produce what you like?
It's who I am, and I can never be tired of who I am. Whoever doesn't want to hear it is probably gonna get tired. I promise you, it's not a job for me to be myself. And
Mm.
I am very confrontational. I am pretty. I don't mince my words, and and sublut. So if I'm not gonna exist as myself, to exist as Barney, because ass licking is not my favorite thing unless we're talking sex. So I mean, it's really not a thing. It's not. I mean, I remember with my team, my global manager is based in London. So when they called, they were panicking, they were scared, and there's parts of I'm not scripted. So there's parts that even though the team knows I'm a shaker, that shakes the team too, and they'll be scared for me, but I go. And because they love me and they know why they come and say, okay, cool. So how do you do phase two? So phase two is literally them. They got scared initially, and they were like, you know what? Actually, we can see this impact. It's translating outside of just South Africa, and that is beautiful because we're based in the UK. And if we ask, there's no one who doesn't know if we ask about that specific mission or goes to check it because it was such wildfire, and it's who I am.
You say the album is coming up. When is it coming? If you can tell us. And then apart from the album, what's next for Moonchild?
Well, now I mean I'm working on the album, and so that started talking about. So I'm re-releasing Nudes EP because everything was independent. So there's projects we've taken down off the offline. Because for instance, the EP was one we were using to do the conversations with the labels outside. So and then we chose the best label. So now we took it down, and we're re-dropping that EP while I'm working on the album, so that there's no silence. And then my first album, 2015, which is my electronic album, it's coming out because the outside world is also crazy. So that is a different market. Also, I'm not even looking at South Africa as a market for that. So now it's getting marketed out there. And then, so while we wait for the album as well, I'm pretty sure I mean, there's going to be an EP, so there's definitely singles from there, which means there's going to be a music video. And I really feel like the one I'm doing with Makati tonight is going to just pop and we just drop. I don't know how that's gonna go. I just know I love her and I respect her craft, and it should be lit. So that should drop anytime outside of the plans that I've already got scheduled and all that jazz. So EP is coming out in September, and so is my BBC first show coming out in September,
Yeah.
and starts about a little bit. Pounds hit harder.